Recording. Great. Welcome everyone to our webinar for today. My name is Devin Bronstein. I lead the Illinois Office of Broadband and excited to be joined today by Assam from the Department of Technology and Innovation here with the state of Illinois. And we are going to be sharing more about the Illinois Century Network, the state's middle mile network, both to give a general overview, but also to make sure that any folks who are planning to participate in BEAD are aware that this is an option for potential cost savings and efficiencies. So with that, let me share my slides and I'll give a brief recap on BEAD, and then we'll hand it over to Assam to lead us through the details. Slides look all right?
Perfect.
Great. So just a very quick recap here. We are bringing this webinar to you today in the context of the BEAD program, Broadband Equity Access and Deployment. This is the $42.45 billion federal program that aims to connect every last household, business and community anchor institution to quality and affordable home internet. We just had some recent structural changes to the BEAD program following a policy notice published by NTIA on June 6th, and yesterday opened up a new subgrantee selection round known as the benefit of the bargain round that will supersede any previous BEAD grant rounds or future BEAD grant rounds. So as we are getting started on this new application round in a very short timeline, also with a big emphasis on cost savings and efficiencies, we're excited to share more about the Illinois Century Network. And with that, I will move right ahead and pass it to Assam to take us through some slides. And we'll have time for Q&A at the end.
Yeah, thanks, Devin. Great. So my name is Samuel Bick. I'll be talking with you today about the Illinois Century Network. And my main goal, today is that you're aware of the Illinois Century Network and that you're aware of how will be useful to you, where dark fiber is, where our lit service interconnect points are. So that's sort of the main goal, is to make you aware of the Illinois Century Network. If we can go to the next slide, please.
Yeah, and Assam, your audio,
So
your
first,
audio is breaking up a bit. Do you want to try going off video?
Yeah, I will go off video. Sorry about that.
No worries. You're usually
Okay.
crystal clear, so we'll try again.
Yeah, yeah. If we can go to the next slide, please. So this is the ICN at a glance. It's the ICN started in 1995 as a K-12 work started by the State Board of Education. Then in 1999, state law created the Illinois Century Network, and the Illinois Century Network started serving K-12, but then progressed into serving state agencies and other anchor institutions, for example, higher education, libraries, state and local government. And most of the network actually, prior to 2010, was a lease network where we would lease broadband circuits from other providers. In 2000, issue of $96 million as a result of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. I think many of you are aware of that program, the BTOP program. And so that 96 million enabled an upgrade to the ICN. And what we did was install 1,000 miles, over 1,000 miles of fiber throughout Illinois, and also purchased about 1,000 miles of dark fiber IOUs from other providers. So in total, we've got over 2,000 miles of network, and that's what you see here. Since 2013, we have been selling and making available dark fiber and lit service to Illinois retail providers. So we've actually sold to 30 plus retail providers in Illinois, dark fiber and lit service, and also co-location. Now, this is what's known as a middle mile network. And on my next slide, I have the definitions. But this is a middle mile network whereby we don't have direct connections to businesses and end users for the most part. Our standard model is that we put out to bid the connection from the anchor institution to the ICN. So that circuit is a broadband circuit provided by a retail provider. And if anybody, just as a side note, if anybody is interested in bidding on those circuits from anchor institutions or state agency locations to the ICN, you would want to register with the state procurement website. It's called Bid Buy. So if you Google Illinois, then you'll see procurements as relates to these broadband circuits. Now the services on the left side of the screen are really services we offer the anchor institutions and the state agencies. Yeah, that's so that, and then on in the next slide, subsequent slides, I'll talk about the services as relates to retail service providers. In terms of number of customers, you see there on the bottom right, we have a large number of K-12 customers. We have a E-rate consortium to provide broadband connections to K-12 customers. We support higher education, community colleges, libraries, and said state and local government locations. If we can go to the next slide, please. Some of you, I'm sure, are very familiar with some of these terms, but I just wanted to level set on some terminology. Not all of you, I believe, are service providers. So DoIT is the term for Illinois Department of Innovation Technology. It's a state agency that owns and operates and manages the Illinois Sentry Network. So the ICN, the Illinois Sentry Network, is part of DoIT, owned and operated by DoIT, part of the state. You'll see the term point of presence. It's basically an ICN data center. We have 14 points of throughout Illinois. ILA is inline amplifier. They also throughout Illinois. There are small ICN data centers. We have HH is handhole. When we refer to middle mile, that's a broadband circuits between POP locations, not directly connected to the end customer. Last mile is between a POP site and the end customer. Dark fiber, we refer essentially to a physical fiber strand. We typically sell pairs of fiber strands, and when they're unlit, that's referred to as dark fiber. Lit fiber is when the fiber is lit via electronic optical equipment. And then when you see the term splice, that just means connecting together or fusing together two fiber segments to become one fiber segment. If we go to the next slide, please. Okay, the main services available for retail providers are shown here. Dark fiber, lit fiber, and co-location. And if we can go to the next slide, please. So the dot, um, you said it's sort of a subset of the previous map that you saw as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act grant, that $96 million. The blue paths you see are tollway fiber. That's also available. And there's another contact person for the tollway fiber. For the ICN fiber, the contact person would be myself. And we also uh, sell fiber. I got a message audio is still breaking up. Um, all right. Hopefully it's okay. Um, the backbone network consists of 144 strands. So when we deployed or constructed the fiber, we deployed and built 144 strands. So we have plenty of strands available. Um, interconnect at handholds. So in terms of how you can interconnect to the dark fiber, we have handholds, every roughly 2,500 feet throughout the network. So we're pretty flexible on where you can interconnect. And also, the standard sale of dark fiber is via what's called a long-term lease or a 20-year IRU. So you would pay a one-time fee for the 20-year IRU, and then a yearly maintenance fee. And then in addition to a 20-year IRU, we do a short-term lease, so 3-year lease. That is where you pay monthly. So we have Google Earth maps of this fiber map. And so I'll provide on the last slide, I have the contact info to email me to get a copy of an NDA. It's just a simple one-page NDA that if you can sign that, it'll allow me to send a Google Earth map of this dark fiber. And then, if you're interested in a quote, and you just simply say, I'm interested in dark fiber from this location to this location. And, the KMZ map shows you where we have the dark fiber, and it's shown on this slide. If we can go to the next slide, please. So this slide is the complete lit network. So it consists of the dark fiber network as well as the fiber that we've IOU'd from other providers. So in essence, this is our complete lit network. And we sell what we call point-to-point wave service from any POP site to any other POP site. So the green dots are the POP sites, the red squares are the inline amplification centers. And we can sell the point-to-point service from any POP site and most of the inline amplification centers to any other center. And we also include 350 Cermak and 900 Walnut as in the locations there. So those two are main carrier hotels in Illinois. And a carrier hotel is basically a location where many providers are located, and you can easily interconnect to other providers. So as well as 1 gig, 10 gig, 100 gig over wave service, we can also provide Metro Ethernet services. So You can have multiple locations connecting to other sort of multiple locations following the Metro Ethernet Forum standards. And then we have a sort of a unique service as well, what we call Rural Fiber Cross Connect. So that is, if you want to connect to us and purchase lit service, but you're not near one of the POP or ILA sites, but you are near dark fiber, then we'll let you access that dark fiber, splice into your fiber, and bring you back to a POP site. And if you purchase that Rural Fiber Cross Connect, that would be part of the lit service agreement. It wouldn't be sort of a separate, IOU document. So we try to simplify how you can connect to the ICN.
The 900,
Um,
the 900 Walmart Walnut, that's in St. Louis, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. No worries. Yeah, and if any, we'll have Q&A as well at the end, so plenty of time for Q&A. Um, Co-location is available if you purchase dark fiber or lit service. Then to support that, we have co-location available at ICN POP and ILA sites, subject to capacity at each site, but for the most part, co-location is available, and we have sold co-location. If we can go to the next slide, please. So, wanted to do two case studies. The first is a dark fiber purchase, and I'll next do a lit service one, and what actually happens, and how do you actually purchase dark fiber? So so first of all, first thing you would want to do is request the NDA so that I can send you the Google Earth maps. So now you have the Google Earth maps showing where we have dark fiber. And let's say at some point you see the dark fiber is useful for you for expansion, and so you would send me an email saying, what is the pricing for a 20-year IOU between these two endpoints, and just pick the two endpoints you need from the map. And pick how many strands. Typically, people want 2 strands, and I'll find the nearest handhole to the endpoints that you're wanting, and then I'll simply provide pricing. It's a There's a one-time charge for the 20 IOU. There'll be an annual dark fiber maintenance charge. There may be a one-time charge if we have any internal make ready. And also, I'll provide an estimated splice cost for the cost to interconnect. Now, the pricing that we provide is what I call standard pricing, in that it's standardized for all retail providers. So the price I provide you would be the same price I provide any other provider. We don't, because we're a state entity, we don't really we don't really negotiate individual deals. We just give you whatever, our standard pricing is. Okay, so I provide the pricing. You would then, as well as specifying the endpoint location, you would also want to specify where you want to interconnect along the fiber. So that's that's possible as well. We're pretty flexible in allowing you to connect the fiber. We have many of the customers index throughout along the dark fiber as well as the endpoints. If we go to the next slide, please. Okay. So let's say, oh no, yeah, let's say you decide to move forward. So what happens then is I'll send you an IOU agreement. It's about a 35 page agreement, IOU.
Oh, did we lose Assam? Nancy, if you want to pause the recording while we wait for him to get back in.
And so then there'll be an IOU agreement with Illinois Department of Innovation Technology executed. We would send you the agreement, you would sign, you'd send it back to us, we sign. After that, we would get the quotes for the splice work that will be required so that you can connect your fiber to the dark fiber you've purchased. And once you've approved those quotes, we can schedule the splices. And then in terms of the payments, 25% of the IOU fee is payable on IOU agreement execution. The remaining 75% payable on fiber acceptance or after 90 days, whichever is sooner. And then also the dark fiber maintenance will start on fiber acceptance or after 90 days, whichever is sooner as well. And the dark fiber maintenance is a yearly fee. Okay, so that's sort of the case study for dark fiber purchase. If we can go to the next slide, please. So for lit service, most of the lit services that we sell and have sold is a point-to-point circuit of 10 gig or 100 gig between a POP location and 350 CERMAC. And then the provider will, typically interconnect to either themselves or a commodity internet provider, like Hurricane or Cogent or Zayo or AT&T at 350 CERMAC. So that's, that's what we've sold most of the time in terms of the lit service. Anyway, so first step is request quote for 100 gig overweight between Springfield, ICN POP, and 350 CERMAC. As I said, we have standard pricing. So our current standard pricing for that is $4,500 per month for a 3-year term for 100 gig from any POP to any POP, including 350 CERMAC. So ICN, next step is ICN provides a quote. And then what you need to do is decide how you access the ICN POP location, whether that's via rural fiber cross connect or you interconnect via fiber at a zero handhole, or in some cases we can facilitate you to build into the POP site. So once you've determined that and you want to move forward, you would execute a master service agreement and a service order with DoIT. So this is like a traditional sort of model. A master service agreement would be a 5-year agreement that covers all the standard terms and conditions for lit services. And then the service order will be specific to that service order for the 100 gig. And if next month you want to purchase an additional service, you would just then execute an additional service order under the same master service agreement. Okay, next slide, please. And then in terms of specifically with purchasing a broadband circuit to 350 CERMAC, we would provide what's called a letter of authorization that allows the 350 CERMAC to interconnect the other provider to the port the ICN port at 350 CIRMAC. So you would be responsible for working with Equinix or Digital Realty at 350 CIRMAC for that cross connect, and we would provide a letter of authorization that facilitates that. And then you simply accept the circuit, and that completes a lit service purchase. If we can go next slide, please. So this is the final slide. If you want to have a Google Earth map, then just send me an email, sam.elbick@illinois.gov. I'll send you an NDA, and then once that's signed, I'll send you the maps. I'll also send you the list of POP and ILA sites in a spreadsheet. If you're interested in any of the blue segments that you saw, that is tollway fiber, and the contact person for tollway fiber is John Needham, and his contact email address and phone number is there as well. So if we can go to the next slide, I think that's all I have. Would be pleased to answer any questions if there are any questions.
Great. Let me take a look in the chat for starters, and then perhaps if any folks have live questions, they can unmute. So we did get a question about the southernmost tip of the state not being covered. Is there anything you want to share, Assam, about future plans or anything around the map?
Yeah. So the southern, so that fiber, that sort of loop there at the bottom, we lease, that is leased from Clearwave or Delta Communications. And that arrangement was part of the initial BTOP grant back into 2010. So what we did was in a sense, there was sort of a division of the state in terms of service provider applicants for certain parts of the state. And so in the southernmost part of the state, the provider that we had partnered with back in the BTOP days was Delta or Clearwave. And then looking at the chat, is a detailed ICN map available? I mean, the Google Earth map that I will send is the detailed map. I mean, that really has everything, everything you need to know. And if there's other information you need, then let me know. I mean, once I send the maps, what people typically want to know is, okay, do you have a handhold near this location? And I will check and get approval for interconnect at the location that you want. In terms of pricing, there's a couple of questions on pricing. I'll just let you know right now what the pricing is. So for lit service, what I would say is the market price, although I'm interested in any feedback, but our current pricing for 100 gig is $4,500 per month for a 3-year term. That's really the most sort of competitive pricing we have. We have pricing for 10 gig and 1 gig, but as compared to the 100 gig, it makes more sense for 100 gig. Our 1 gig pricing is $1,177 a month. 10 gig pricing is $3,500 a month, and that's all for 3-year terms. And that's basically it for the lit services. In terms of pricing for dark fiber, The price is, so our standard price is $1,300 per strand per mile for dark fiber. If you purchase enough quantity such that you're purchasing, or such that you're spending at least $200,000, that price comes down to $900 per strand per mile for a 20-year IOU. And then for the maintenance, it's $388 a year per route mile. So that's the dark fiber pricing. Now, in terms of dark fiber pricing, those prices are for what we call pop-to-pop segments. If you're wanting like smaller segments where it's not pop-to-pop and we have to segment fiber, we charge a little premium on the pricing to encourage sort of pop-to-pop sales. And then in the Chicago metro area, there's a premium charge as well for fiber along the Dan Ryan Expressway. In terms of, just got a comment, market price is less than half that. So I would, and again, well, you've provided feedback about, I mean, I know our 1 gig and 10 gig pricing is high. I'm surprised that our $4,500 price for 100 gig is high. And I'll, if people want to email me more info, because we want to, the intent, at least for the 100 gig pricing, is that is competitive, market price. One thing with the state is that we do have to go through sort of an internal process to change pricing. So you might be wondering, why is it that we have this pricing that doesn't make sense? It's because we have this internal process that we have to go through to change pricing, and that's not that's not a straightforward process. But so that's I guess the explanation as to why some of our pricing may be out of whack.
So it sounds like, Assam, if folks wanted to share their feedback on what might be best for their business models, they could send an email to you, or is there another general email that they can reach out to?
Yeah, no, email me. I mean, and that helps actually with the arguments and the justifications I have to provide internally. So any feedback you want to provide, that would be great. That would be welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks in advance for that.
Great. Any other questions for Assam? Okay. Well, let me flash up the contact information one more time at the end here. Assam, did you want to share anything about the tollway fiber before we close out?
Yeah, well, I mean, tollway fiber is available. John Needham, he also has Google Earth Maps. They have different restrictions. They require that you buy the full segment. But really, if you're interested in any of the any dark fiber in the blue there, or conduit, they have conduit available. Then contact John Needham, and they have like us, they have sold and sell dark fiber for the past 10+ years.
Great. All right. Well, if there's no other question, thanks everyone for tuning in. and feel free to reach out if you have any follow-up questions or feedback. We can close out from there.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, all.